These two shoes here, I mean, they're both so squidgy. This one here is just an absolute squidge fest. Okay, so today I'm actually out trying the Pegasus 38, but you know, I'd love to bring you guys shoe reviews, but I want to keep this like a sort of a journey as well, you know, not just about the shoes that I wear. Obviously I love talking about shoes and reviewing the shoes for you guys, but I want this to be my journey too, sort of our journey together, whatever you want to call it. So today I'm also going to talk about something really important. This is going to be going on my New Balance Fuel Cell Rebel 2 versus Reebok Floatride video, but this is something I'm so excited to talk about. I hope you can hear me over all this wind, but I have got Seth James DeMoor on my YouTube channel on the 4th of next month, which is May, at 10:30 UK time. I'll be talking to Seth on my channel, live on YouTube, live on my YouTube. So guys, if you're watching this today, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and turn on that bell for notifications. I mean, come on, we're going to be talking to the DGR King. You don't want to miss that. I don't want to miss that. I'm excited. I can't wait. I know a lot of people that know about this already are excited. So yeah, if you don't already subscribe, dude, I'm going to be talking to Seth James. Come on, subscribe. You're going to want to hear that. Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. It's me, Running Man Sam, and today we are going to be doing another battle of two shoes going head to head, and this time, instead of the super shoes, we're going to be finding out which one of these shoes here is the best daily trainer. We have the Reebok Floatride Energy 3 and the New Balance Rebel V2. Now, the New Balance Rebel V2 is a new shoe for me. I've got this shoe to 20 miles at the moment, but I've never run in version 1. And the Reebok Floatride 3 is something I'm quite familiar with. I've done 53 miles in this shoe, but in the Floatride 2 I did over 200 miles, so I'm quite familiar with the foam and that sort of thing. So yeah, for me this has been quite different to running. The fuel cell foam has been something I've never run in before, and I've really enjoyed this. The last 3 runs in a row actually I've run in this shoe, which for most people that might sound completely normal, but for me, with all my running shoes, I don't think I've ever run in a shoe 3 days in a row, so that's a good sign. We're going to be scoring these two shoes head to head in a showdown of the daily training shoes. We'll be going through value, weight, stability, lockdown, the fit and feel of the shoes, responsiveness, fun factor of the shoes, just which ones just are more fun to run in, and just the final factor will be overall, which shoe do I prefer to run in. We'll be talking about the statistics as well, which we're going to get to into a second, and then the showdown will begin head to head against these two shoes. Before we get into the review, if you are new to the channel today, thank you very much for clicking this video. I hope you enjoy it. I'm sure you will. But if you could please do me a favour, hit that like, hit that subscribe. I know you hear it all the time, and that is because it's so important for us guys to have the engagement on these videos to help these videos grow, especially the smaller guys that are just starting out. So please, if you enjoy this, give it the credit it deserves. Hit that thumbs up like and the subscribe, and leave a comment in the comments below. And if you're returning today to the channel, thank you very much for being a part of it. Okay, so just first off, these two shoes are both amazing daily trainers. They're both really versatile shoes that I think personally you can do any sort of running. So with that being said, we're going to get into the stats and statistics. I'm going to start off with the Reebok Floatride 3. So the Reebok Floatride 3 is the heavier of the two shoes, weighing in at 295 grams. And it has an 8mm drop. This shoe retails at £75 at full price, but you can quite often find it in some sort of ridiculous sale on Reebok. Very recently, I don't know if it's still there, but I have seen this shoe on sale for £30. This is one of my most recommended shoes to people that are getting into running or are looking for a very versatile and amazing price daily trainer. I think I'm up to about 30 people now from my Instagram, which you can check out here, and from YouTube and Strava and things like that. All my social media links you can find in the description. But yeah, every single person I've recommended this shoe to has absolutely loved it. The New Balance Rebel V2 and the stats and statistics for this. So this shoe is much lighter than the Floatride 3, weighing in at 229 grams. So both of these shoes are in a men's size 11 UK. A bit more expensive out of the two, coming in at £120. At full price, and I've not seen it in any sales. It has a 6mm heel to toe drop. Stats out the way, we are going to move on to the showdown. I'm going to tell you now, a little spoiler, this is going to be incredibly close. Again, as I say, I really enjoy running in both of these shoes. They're two of my favourite daily trainers. Showdown begin. The weight. So I think it's gonna be obvious there which one wins, just from the fact that we can't argue with the weight, and that is gonna be the New Balance Rebel V2. It just weighs much lighter than the Reebok. Now don't get me wrong, the Reebok isn't necessarily heavy, but I know that there are a lot of people that are really caught up in how much a shoe weighs, and that's a big factor for them. As I've said before, it's not a big issue for me. I think that's just because I'm a 90 kilo plus guy, so I don't really feel those minute differences. On to the next category there, and that is going to be the responsiveness. So with this, I just mean which shoe feels that little bit more lively, which shoe just picks up the pace a little bit more, and which one has you feeling a bit like Usain Bolt when you're going for a run. Well, it's a really close one. The Floatride foam is incredibly responsive and versatile, and quite a nice sort of stable all-round feel to it. Equally with the Rebel 2, it's extremely bouncy and lively and poppy. It just feels great. It is a close one, but for me, the winner on responsiveness is the New Balance Rebel V2. It just feels awesome. It does feel so incredibly bouncy. Not quite like a Next Percent bouncy, but obviously we don't have the plate in this one. That's in the Racer. But yeah, it's just, you can just pick up the pace so easily in this shoe. We're going to talk about value, and this is going to be an absolute landslide victory for the Reebok Floatride 3. Now, even though the New Balance Rebel isn't super expensive, coming in at £120, this shoe is £75, quite often on the sale for £50, £30. That's ridiculous. I mean, personally, I don't know about you guys, but when I see a shoe for £30, I instantly think it's going to be rubbish. And this shoe has completely changed my mindset for that. I bought the Floatride 2 sort of just on a whim, and when it was on sale for £50, and I thought it's going to be rubbish, but just see what it's like. And it was absolutely awesome, and the Floatride 3 is no different. Moving on to the next category is the fit and feel. So just, you know, in terms of sizing, how it comes up on your foot, that sort of thing. And for me, again, it's going to be a landslide victory for the Reebok Floatride 3, and that is because if you haven't seen my initial review of the Rebel 2, which you can check out, I'll put a link up the top. Although it's not caused me any major issues yet, or any issues at all, to be honest, this definitely comes up half a size small, and reading the comments on my initial review of this, so many people are agreeing with me that this comes up at least half a size or a size small. This is definitely true to size. Also, in terms of fit and feel, I just find the tongue a lot more comfortable on the Floatride 3 with a bit more padding. Tongue on the Rebel 2 is very, very minimal and cheap looking. It hasn't actually caused any rubbing or anything on my foot, but it just doesn't feel as, not that the Rebel Floatride 3 is super plush, but it doesn't feel as plush as the Floatride 3 does. And considering it's a more expensive shoe, it's strange that this is sort of a bit more comfortable on the upper on my foot. On to stability. Now, I don't mean stability in terms of like a medial post or guide rail or anything like that. I'm not a massive fan of stability shoes, but we won't go into that today. I just mean like inherent stability. So I still think it's important to have a shoe that feels stable, just not with stability features such as medial posts and that sort of thing, which try and alter your gait. Just the general feel of the shoe, whether you sort of feel like you're falling in on yourself or crumbling in, like I sort of feel like I do in the Nike Invincible, which is just a really unstable shoe for me. A very close one. This one's definitely got the squidgier foam. It is an absolute squidge fest. When you squeeze this, it's mental. This one is a lot firmer, but still bouncy. But yeah, overall, just because of the fact that it's a little bit firmer in the Floatride 3, and I think they're just a little bit more in terms of the heel area, it just comes up a little bit higher here, and a little bit more structure. I'm going to give the winner for stability to the Floatride 3, just because that foam's just a little bit denser and a little bit more stable underfoot. Don't get me wrong, I don't find this shoe unstable, I just find this a lot more stable. One of the most fun scoring metrics that we're going to be doing today is the fun factor. By that I mean, you know, when you just put a shoe on and it's just how much you enjoy it. What does that feel like to run in? What sort of sensation do you get back from that foam? How does it make you feel when you run it? Does it make you smile? Does it make you think, oh, this is boring? Again, a really close one here, because both of these shoes are really, really fun to run in. The foams are just exciting, they feel nice, but I think marginally the Rebel 2 wins in the fun factor. The foam is just so lively and bouncy. It just feels awesome to run in at any pace, which I've had it in any pace. I've done strides in these up to sort of 4.5 minute mile pace. I've done runs that have come up to about 8.5 minute mile pace. So for me, that's quite a big range of runs. And it just feels so alive and fun at any of those paces. It's a tie, 3-3. So close. I told you that it's so close. These shoes are very equally matched, but the final factor that I'm gonna give you guys to decide which one I think is the best daily trainer of 2021 so far that I've tried is just which do I prefer. So it's not necessarily the fun factor, just overall, if I was going for a run tomorrow and I only owned this shoe or this shoe, which shoe would I pick? Which shoe would I go for a run in? And I think the overall winner is gonna be the New Balance Rebel V2. I'm so glad I bought this shoe, I really am. It just is so fun to run in. I just enjoy it. Okay, we've got the sizing issue, but so far that's not caused me a problem. So I haven't downgraded it for that sort of thing. Maybe if it was giving me blisters, obviously this would come nowhere close. So just be careful when you do buy this, or if you do buy this, that you get your sizing right. I don't want to say this isn't a good shoe. This shoe is an amazing shoe, it really is. And for value for money at £30, if we was talking about which shoe would I buy again in terms of just value, it will be this by absolute miles. You can get this for £30, even full price at £75. And they're both just as versatile as each other, meaning that you can do an easy run, a long run, tempo run. For me, I'm just talking about if money wasn't an issue and I just wanted to buy the one that I was most excited in running in and that I just enjoyed running in the most, and it would be this, as I say. So I hope that scoring has helped you. And scoring is relative to a person, isn't it? So for some people, value is a huge thing, and I get that completely. So this is going to be the winner, isn't it? Hands down. For other people, stability is. Again, this will be the winner. It just depends on what you like. I really hope that that scoring has helped put into perspective for you what these two shoes have to offer, how I feel that they perform. As always, guys, I've been Running Man Sam, a super shoe showdown of the daily trainers, and I will see you guys in a bit.